Before Roblox became the sprawling, brand-loaded metaverse it is today, before UGC scams, FPS battlegrounds, and virtual concerts that pulled tens of millions into one server, it was something else. Something smaller, simpler, strangely quiet. A blank base plate, a glowing red button, and a single mission. Build your empire from absolutely nothing. This is Frame Theory, and I welcome you to the world of Roblox Tycoons, a genre that didn't explode overnight, but spread like a habit. A quiet obsession, one conveyor belt at a time. These games weren't cinematic, they weren't social, but they were addictive, in a way no obstacle course, shooter, or roleplay server could replicate. And their success? It's tied to a forgotten era of gaming, long before Roblox became Roblox. Chapter 1. The First Factory. The tycoon genre didn't begin with flashy visuals or billion view counts. It began with bread. Literally. One of the earliest known tycoons, Bread Factory Tycoon, quietly popped up around 2009. It didn't promise combat, quests, or social features. It offered one thing: production. You'd stand on a conveyor button, bread would spawn, sell the bread, earn money, use that money to buy more machines. More machines meant more bread meant more cash. It was straightforward, but it scratched a very particular itch. You didn't need to be fast, you didn't need to win, you just needed patience and maybe a few hours to kill after school. And that's where the magic happened. Watching your empty base slowly morph into a humming factory felt personal. Every new floor, every added conveyor belt was a reward, one you earned, not through skill, but time. And because Roblox was, and still is, a sandbox for user-made games, the idea spread like wildfire. Soon, Bread Factory Tycoon had siblings, lots of them. There were two-player tycoons with teamwork mechanics, battle tycoons with laser fences and weapon droppers, superhero tycoons where you could buy powers like flight or teleportation. Some were creative, but others were shameless reskins. Same game, new team. Nukes, money printers, zombies, even toilets. And yet, it didn't matter. The core loop worked. And players kept coming back, because they didn't need a reason, just a rhythm. Chapter 2. Designed to hook you. So, what was the hook? Why were these games so impossible to quit? It wasn't the mechanics. It wasn't the polish. It was the loop. Tycoons nailed one of the most studied and potent principles in game design: progressive reward cycles. Here's how it worked. You start with one dropper, click a button, money appears. Buy an upgrade, earn more money per click. Buy another, now it's automatic. Add another, now it's faster. Expand the floor, unlock new machines. Add walls, lights, fences, cannons, rocket launchers, whatever the team allowed. And then, maybe, rebirth. Start over, stronger, faster, richer. It was essentially an idle clicker, dressed up as a building sim, and kids, especially on Roblox, ate it up. The feedback loop was instant, gratifying. Every 5 seconds something new, every minute a milestone. But there was something else too. Social pressure. You could see other players' bases in real time. You knew who was ahead of you, whose base had walls, towers, gold droppers. You weren't directly competing, but you didn't want to fall behind either. That created a strange kind of passive rivalry, one that kept you online, clicking, upgrading, long after you meant to log off. In a platform full of chaos, Tycoons offered calm, a way to be alone but not lonely, a low-stakes version of capitalism, where you were the CEO, the factory worker, and the architect all at once. And that blend of simplicity, ownership, and quiet competition, that was real genius. Chapter 3: Evolution, Inflation, and the Loop That Never Dies. By the mid-2010s, tycoons weren't just a genre, they were everywhere. Some developers got ambitious, adding rebirth systems, leaderboards, cosmetic upgrades, even event tie-ins. Others focused on monetization. Suddenly, you'd spawn into a game and be hit with VIP room, 200 Robux, buy the golden dropper, limited time, unlock ultra rebirth mode, pay now. What began as a peaceful factory sim had evolved into a Robux funnel. Part idle game, part casino. But even when it turned aggressive, the loop still worked, because you didn't need to engage with the premium stuff. You could just press buttons, watch numbers go up. That was the real appeal. Low effort, high return. Even today, some of Roblox's most popular games are tycoon variants in disguise. Retail Tycoon 2, Restaurant Tycoon, Tower Defense Simulator, all evolved from the same roots. They've added story, art, complexity, but underneath, it's still the same 4 steps. Earn, upgrade, expand, and repeat. Roblox Tycoons were, and are, the comfort food of the platform. Maybe not revolutionary, maybe not always healthy, but endlessly replayable. And that matters more than you think. But here's the twist. Roblox Tycoons didn't appear out of nowhere. They were inheriting something older, something many players today never even experienced. Flash games. Before Roblox, before mobile gaming, before TikTok stole our attention spans, Flash games ruled the internet. On sites like Cool Math Games, Armour Games, and Newgrounds, kids were running cafes, mining empires, lemonade stands. They were stacking pizzas, balancing checkbooks, managing crews, all from a school computer with no graphics card. And that era didn't just vanish, it evolved. Through Roblox, through mobile idle games, through tycoons. This Friday, we're digging deeper into what happened to it, why Flash games died and who survived, and how their influence is still reshaping game design today. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, this is Frame Theory.